Hello and welcome to Total War, and welcome back to my channel. Finally, it's been a long time. This is Napoleon Total War. I'm playing as the British here, and yeah, welcome to Napoleon Total War, by the way. I thought I'd just start doing some kind of shoutcasting on this of some of the games I've done. It's kind of just basics, really. I just want to teach people some basics of the game. I am playing as Britain. I'll be using the generic General Staff, 4 units of British Foot units, 2 King's German Legion Light Foot, 1 Rifles, 2 Light Dragoons, 2 Dragoon Guards, 4 units of Highland Foot, a 42nd Black Watch, and the Coldstream Guards. I have an ally here. I'm mostly going to be going over his tactics in an entirely different battle, so I'm going to skip ahead here till the enemy deployment. Right then, I've paused the game at my deployment. I've deployed in 2 sides, one of which is made up of my British foot units, here they are, and my Coldstream Guards, backed up by my King's German Legion Light Foot, and the majority of my cavalry is going to be over here as well. The other side is made up of my Highlanders, there they are, and the Rifles unit is backing them up. As I said, I'm going to ignore this. Over here, it's a Britain versus Britain battle. So I imagine this is some sort of, you know, maybe the British and the French, they're deserters. Deserters have teamed up, and obviously, you know, I'm allying with these Ottoman Turks. But now we're going to skip ahead again because it's going to take a very long time. But I think I'll tell you about the enemy's army first. Over here he has 3 units of Dragoon Guards, same type of cavalry I have, backed up by 1 King's German Legion Light Dragoon. So I would say he has a definite cavalry advantage here, although it's only by a small amount. You know, used well, I can certainly beat his cavalry with mine. However, that's not the way the battle is going to play out. The battle is going to play out as it should do. And this actually, I thought, was a very good battle for showing, you know, just how to deal with an enemy using combined arms. He also has 4 units. Well, he has 2 units of King's German Legion Light Foot, and then 2 units of Standard Light Foot. I prefer to use King's German Legion Light Foot over Standard Light Foot. They both cost the same. These guys are British, and those guys are German. And the Germans have a better firing rate, but worse attack. And given that these are skirmishers, frankly, you're not going to be meleeing much. That's why I'd say use the King's German Legion Light Foot. You only get 2 maximum, however, which is fairly sad. He's got a bit of amalgamation here. He's got King's German Legion Light Foot, 2 Highland Foot, King's German Legion Light Foot again, another Highland Foot, another Highland Foot, another Highland Foot, and then he's backed that up with a 42nd Foot Black Watch. So there's 2 units of Black Watch in this game. And then he uses the Duke of Wellington, so which basically completely buggers up my attempt at saying that this is some sort of army that's abandoned its post. It's probably my army that's abandoned its post. But the Duke of Wellington today has got brain damage because he's going to lose. The Duke of Wellington probably wouldn't have lost against me because I am not the Duke of Wellington. So, let's skip ahead. Okay, we're finally getting close to when the sort of main engagement starts to begin. And I'm going to press the spacebar here just to show you how I'm going to end up deploying. I'm actually going to end up a little bit further up. And you can see I'm using these sand dunes. I'm trying to get to a position where, until I really want to, I'm going to be safe. I'm also going to end up above him. I've moved my King's German Legion Light Foot further over. And my rifles are they skirmishing yet? No, they're not quite skirmishing yet. I'm going to move them slightly further over. I think I end up moving them over here. I'll talk about the Ottomans in another video. Despite the fact that they're in the battle with me and they do affect the battle by doing damage to both his cavalry unit suicidally charges King's German Legion Light Foot over here. The majority of my side of the battle is over here, and I'd like to talk about both in separate videos because his tactics are quite complex, mine are quite simplistic. That might make me sound really bad. Don't let it, please. So anyway, I've split up my units. My Highlander foot are going to be holding the centre, and then my horse guard, my dragoon guards, sorry, same type of units he has. My Coldstream and my foot guards, my British units, are going to be moving up here. What I'm going to do is the Coldstreams and this foot unit are going to move up under the cover of this small sand dune here, whilst these other units move around. Now obviously I'm basically just waiting for his dragoon guards to do something, because I know it's obvious that I'm going for an envelopment on one flank, letting the Ottomans just take all the crap over there. So I'm obviously going for an envelopment. At some point he's going to have to assault these foot units, however that's not going to go well. Note also how I'm trying to keep my units in ditches, the cavalry. Over here, he launches a charge with all of his dragoon guards straight into this foot unit as it's... However, I reform into a square. Always press the square button if you're being charged by cavalry, and it screws them over. This is why foot is not good for it. However, the sheer weight of his cavalry is going to do some serious damage, and I can see that this square is breaking up now. It's pretty much gone. So, I do the sensible thing, and walk my dragoon guards over. No, here they come, they're charging. The unit next to them also switches to the square, just so that some of the flanking guys can get a couple of shots off. And currently, because he's outnumbered, he's not wanted to move his foot up. If he moved his 42nd foot Black Watch here, maybe, he might be alright, because he's covered by this hill, so that I can't even send my units over, because they'd be hit by Lightfoot and Highland Foot. Meanwhile, I've got my King's German Legion over there on top, and my rifles have begun skirmishing with these King's German Legion Lightfoot over there. Over here, it's really complicated, and I basically have no idea what's happening. I can tell you that these two units with the green flag are winning. Also, this unit of foot, sadly, the square totally broke, and they ran away. They'll come back later, but stop routing, but I won't notice, so I don't use them for the rest of the battle. That happens to a lot of my units. I don't need to use any of my units really in this battle. I don't mean that. I need to use some of my units, obviously. Otherwise, I'd be a fool. So you can see here, I'm covering these two King's German Legion Lightfoot with the Highlanders, sending my other Highlanders around the flank, and that unit's getting slaughtered by Nizam. The Nizam's on the end of the Turkish line, the Ottoman Turk line, and my rifles are occasionally firing into them, but not very much it seems. So, over here, my horses have finally taken out his. He would have been alright if it weren't for the fact that he charged straight into a square. And there you can see the advantage of using terrain. Terrain is the most important thing in Napoleon Total War. Far more important, I would say, than any other Total War game. That's why Grassy Flatlands is probably the worst map ever, because you can't do stuff like this. You can see they're just coming over. His units are blasting the shit out of a hill, whilst my foot unit charges up. My second foot unit is going to do the same, and now I've completed my encircle. These other units are also going to do so. Coldstream Guards are actually going to hit quite a lot of casualties here. I didn't realise that they could be seen by these Lightfoot and Highlanders, but sadly it's going to happen. I'd quite like to have kept them fresh until they're right in the fight, but sadly it's not going to happen. Now, his 42nd foot, the Black Watch, are actually beating one of my foot units. However, there are two foot units, so he's getting his ass kicked. He's beating them because they're 42nd foot Black Watch. Here, for some reason, he moved his unit about 5 meters back. Frankly, that's retarded. You shouldn't do that. In the face of enemy fire, there are two things to do. Run properly the way away, or kill the enemy. In this case, he did neither of them. He stopped shooting me, stopped killing me, took massive casualties, and he didn't even run away properly. Over here, I've got my 2 Dragoon Guards left. They're both at fairly good health. We've lost about a third each. That's not good. And he's starting to peel over units because you can see that things are getting, oh shit. Over here, I'm using my Dragoon Guards to scare the hell out of his Duke of Wellington and turn his units into square. This gives me the opportunity to then change my mind at the last second and charge into his Black Watch. Sadly, doesn't even break it. Still at 12 men. 12, 10, 11 men. 10 men. Look at that. 9, 7, 6 men. That's the advantage of a really good historical general. The Duke of Wellington's top one. Other unit here, just sticking here. And you can see I charged straight through into his other Highland foot unit, so I could get my Coldstream Guards to attack. They didn't take quite as many casualties as I thought. I thought they'd get a lot more casualties than this. Maybe it's in a second when they start taking footloads from this King's German Legion foot and the King's German Legion light foot. But anyway, having the cav there, I charged them up the hill, and then stopped and ran the hell away. Sadly his square did manage to kill a couple of them, but you know, oh well. And I charged my foot around the hill. They're both fairly buggered up, and the King's German Legion foot are actually better than them, but because they're in the square formation and they had to reform, taken some casualties already. His Black Watch obviously pretty much decimated. I'm not even sure if any of them managed to get away or if they just all died. Over here you can see his units were severely depleted and he's had to fall back, giving me the opportunity to push forward on the hill. Same goes for here. I've pushed forward and now you can see there's a total encirclement. In this case he had to use the terrain. He should have tried to use the terrain to funnel my units. It's quite hard on this map, but he should have done that anyway. Again, I'm just charging in my Dragoon Guards, trying to get at the Duke of Wellington here. Doesn't look like I'm going to get him, really. My units break too late. Or too early even. No such thing as a unit breaking too late. Doesn't make any sense. King's German Legion foot and now light foot, now skirmishing with the enemy King's German Legion light foot, are also being flanked. His general's basically screwed here. There's the Duke of Wellington on his own. And is he going to make it? Is he going to make it? Is he going to... Oh, I think he's made it. He's made it. The bastard. He actually makes it. All my cavalry's gone now. Oh wait, no it's not. I've still not used these Highlanders. They've not taken a shot, they've not given a shot. And these light dragoons. Nor has my general really done anything. Frankly, I could have done without a general in this battle. Didn't even need one. Over here, you can see I'm using the hill to give my men some cover. It also gives the enemy some cover, but his units are running across the front of his own. So if I miss this unit, I was going to hit this unit. And as you can see, this total encirclement now. Finally pushing my Highlanders up. They're still not taking any casualties, and I don't think they're even going to shoot anybody. So basically, I've killed the enemy with 3 units of foot, another foot, some Coldstream Guards, and then these Highlanders and the 42nd Black Watch are basically going to smash into this Highland foot over here. We're going to have a great big Scottish battle. He sends a Nizam head it over, but frankly they're practically useless as rifles. I mean, he should have charged maybe, but probably lose. This guy's just awful, and you can see the units still breaking over here. What this shows you is that how cavalry can force units into squares, and then did that to Scotsmen, murdering a load of other Scotsmen. It's like the Jacobite rebellions. Shh, don't hurt Scotsmen, they'll get angry at you and blame it on the Brits. And you can see, it's a total decimation. What this shows is how using cover to your advantage can mean that just as good infantry as each other could lead to a very one-way battle. As his units are running off, I send off my light dragoons, but my King's German Legion light dragoons, but they're never going to catch them. And that's pretty much the end of the battle here. The French are gone as well. The big lesson from that, this is really just about, you know, showing new people how to play the game. I know this is quite a long time after the game was released, but I've only recently got back into it, and just look at the kills there. The Coldstream Guards, and these are all units that were flanking. The rifles weren't, the rifles were skirmishers. obviously, because they're a skirmisher unit. Basically, it shows how cavalry, used well, can force an enemy unit into square, and then having foot units really close, or skirmisher units really close, can absolutely decimate a single infantry unit. Also, how using cover to your advantage is a great idea. Thanks for watching. I'll be putting this up, and then the Ottoman Turk side of the battle will be coming up straight afterwards. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.